The Wyatt family debuted and got a new name. Drew McIntyre quits WWE on air. My review of Monday Night Raw and more. I'm Luke Owen, and this is the WrestleTalk News.
Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
That was a packed edition of Monday Night Raw, so we need to get into all of the big talking points. But before that, we've got the biggest news. ICP just called out CM Punk. Apropos of nothing, Violent J of the Insane Clown Posse took to Twitter yesterday to call out CM Punk. I guess he's a big Drew McIntyre fan. I shall now perform a dramatic reading of this call out. F at CM Punk for life. You wouldn't shake our hands in TNA, lil bitch. And you clown on the only real friend you ever had in Colt Cabana. You bitch. I shared my bank account with my mom before she passed. You little insensitive bitch. You little heartless alien. Suck my D, you little weak bitch. Couldn't beat a jobber in UFC. You effing nearly pathetic little joke. Come beat me up, bitch. You suffer inside everyone, and they mama knows that. Get your head right, you little suffering ass bitch. VJ of Insane Clown Posse, just as legendary as you, lil bitch. Face it. CM Punk to Gathering of the Juggalos confirmed. On to more serious news now, and as expected, last night's episode of Monday Night Raw saw the debut of the new Wyatt 6 faction, which has been teased on WWE TV for the last few months. The finale of the show was very reminiscent of the ending of Extreme Rules and the return of Bray Wyatt, and saw the lights go out before revealing a door, out of which came Abby the Witch to look at the Wyatt Lantern. The camera followed backstage to find Rambling Rabbit, then into a destroyed gorilla position to find Mercy the Buzzard and Huskus the Pig Boy, before finally revealing Uncle Howdy, who led his crew to the stage to say that they're here, to a massive ovation from the crowd. The lineup is as had been previously reported. Abby is played by Nikki Cross, Rambling Rabbit is a returning Eric Rowan, complete with Bludgeon Brother Hammer as a loving tribute to Brody Lee, Mercy the Buzzard is Dexter Loomis, and Huskus is NXT call-up Joe Gacy. There was no return of Alexa Bliss, but she is expected to be joining the group as its 6th member, alongside a returning Bo Dallas as Uncle Howdy. Both Joe Gacy and Nikki Cross have changed their social media to reflect their new characters. The angle was chilling and so incredibly well done, and even featured blood on the walls of the gorilla position, and a seemingly dead Chad Gable and Braun Strowman as their first victims, who earlier had been announced for a Money in the Bank qualifying match next week. Others have said that they can make out JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio, and even Triple H and Bruce Pritchard in all of the carnage, but I couldn't quite see that. Though if Triple H was attacked, he seems totally okay with it, as he posted this image in tribute of Bray Wyatt on Twitter. Even more interestingly though, WWE Shop have now revealed the new name of this faction, which has changed from Wyatt 6, S-I-X, to Wyatt 6, S-I-C-K-S. In a clip on social media, Jey Uso said he didn't want no smoke with them, and they can have the Fireflies back. What did you make of the Wyatt 6's debut? Let me know in the comments down below. Personally, I thought it was awesome. The second most notable thing that happened on Raw was also Seth Rollins making a surprise return, and Drew McIntyre quitting the company following his loss at Clash in the Castle. Instead of cutting a scathing promo on CM Punk to set up that inevitable future match, McIntyre did a 2010 Batista minus the wheelchair and quit the company. Despite the efforts of both Triple H and Adam Pearce, McIntyre was not convinced to retract his resignations, taking things further by deleting all of his social media. And you know how much he loves that social media. McIntyre recently re-signed with WWE, and this is all part of a storyline to build to that eventual CM Punk match. Reports suggest that Punk will be healed up by the end of July, which puts him out of wrestling at Money in the Bank, but does set him up for SummerSlam. Before we get into the rest of what happened on a very newsworthy edition of Monday Night Raw, check out this clip from TLC, where I share my love of all things TNA.
I don't know if you know this about me. I like TNA from the mid-2000s.
What is this match? I've never heard of it.
Oh, the Monsters Ball match.
I've heard of it.
So the Monsters Ball match is that all of the wrestlers are locked in cupboards the night before the show.
No!
For 24 hours, and they're not given food, water, or light. So when they come out to the ring, they're like rabid animals.
No, Luke! Luke, no!
And then they have a hardcore match.
And now it's time for my review of Monday Night Raw, aka the boy that escalated quickly edition of Monday Night Raw in about 5 minutes. Since WrestleMania, WWE has fallen into a bit of a lull. Stories have been pretty good here and there's been some good angles, and the wrestling has been of a high caliber, especially during King and Queen of the Ring, but it's been missing something. That spark, that intangible earth spark, that big talking point. I feel like Raw has felt it more than SmackDown has, and NXT is always great, but Raw, I mean, maybe it's the lack of star power. I can't quite put my finger on what is missing, but something was missing. So this episode of Raw felt like a shot in the arm that this show really needed. And it opened with the return of Seth Rollins, who we last saw losing his World Heavyweight Championship to Drew McIntyre for all of 5 minutes at WrestleMania. The crowd welcomed him back, and he made his intentions clear. He wants to win back his world title, and the quickest way there is by winning Money in the Bank. But there's actually a quicker way to get there. The world champion offers you a match instead. And that's what happened. Damian Priest came out to welcome Seth back and offered him a match for the title at Money in the Bank, which Seth accepted. This was a good opening segment, and while Priest still doesn't feel like the top guy of the brand, this is a good direction for his title defenses. I hope that he does beat Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank, as I think it would do a lot for cementing him as the top champion on Raw. Earlier in the day, Chad Gable wanted another shot at Sami Zayn's IC title, but Adam Pearce told him to get to the back of the line and set him up for a tune-up match against Braun Strowman. Strowman squashed Gable in a match where Chad got virtually no offense in. Now, I will assume that there will be people quite mad about this online, but I think it's a good part of his character. He is a bully heel who blames everyone else for his failures. With that said, I would have liked for this to have been a bit more competitive, especially as both of them are supposed to be in a three-way to qualify for Money in the Bank. After the match, Gable berated his Alpha Academy, and after he slapped Tozawa, Otis finally snapped and pushed Chad down. And that was it. That was the turn. Later, Otis and the rest of the group left, and Chad expelled them from the academy. I'm not saying that this was bad, it got a big pop from the crowd. I just think that it needed more. After weeks and weeks of build, this should have felt like a bigger deal. I would have assumed that next week Gable would win his triple threat match with interference from his new Alpha Academy of the Creeds, but I think he's dead. Speaking of Money in the Bank, an Io Sky qualified by pinning Kiana James after Liv Morgan distracted Zelina Vega, who was also in the match. You will be hearing me use the words interference and distraction a lot in this review. Now I know you're all expecting me to use some Limp Bizkit lyrics here to describe Io's win, but I told you last week. I've seen them live now. I got that all out of my system. You're not the boss of me, comments. I don't want one more fight about your leadership, because I will straight up leave your spit. Look, do you know what? I've had enough of this, and now I'm pissed. Yeah. Do you know what? This time, I'm gonna let it all come out. This time, I'm gonna stand up and shout. I'm gonna do things my way. It is now, from now on, it is my way or the highway. Zelina Vega last won a match on TV in August of last year, which makes her the perfect contender for Liv Morgan's World Championship. JK, I'm kidding. Sami Zayn came out for a promo which set up his next feud of Bron Breakker, yes please, and then set up a number one contenders match of sorts for later on in the show with Sheamus. Carlito beat Dragon Lee after distractions and interference from Liv Morgan, and the Unholy Union found their new number one contenders to their newly won tag titles in the form of Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. You know, the team they just beat at the pay-per-view. Drew McIntyre came out for a promo and quit WWE. Mate, you just signed a new contract. Drew McIntyre to AEW confirmed. And the Party Girls beat Damage Control after Lyra Valkyria distracted Sane and Kai. Valkyria will take on Baszler and Sane next week in a Money in the Bank qualifier. Sheamus and Bron Breakker were having an awesome match until, wait, is that a potential three-way or even a four-way feud? You know what that means? Lame DQ finish! Ludwig Kaiser came out and interfered in the match to cause the DQ, and he brawled with Sheamus while Bron brawled with Sami at ringside. Security separated Bron away, which allowed Ludwig Kaiser to keep beating down Sheamus, only for Bron to break free of the security and beat Kaiser to the running punch by spearing him out of his goddamn boots as he was attempting his running kick into the steps. That was so awesome. Look, I know the Wyatt 6 thing is cool, but this was by far my favorite thing on the show. Put all of the belts on Braun Breaker now and give me him versus Gunther for all of those belts. Like Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe that one time in TNA. Liv Morgan got Dominic Mysterio to strip her of his jacket before he got caught in 4K by his dad Damian Priest. He was just reading the articles. Don't disturb him while he's cleaning his room. Karrion Kross challenged either Xavier Woods or Kofi Kingston to a match next week, which Kofi accepted by talking over Xavier Woods. I really liked this, and I loved the little detail that the lower third was Kofi Kingston with Xavier Woods, not the New Day. And the main event saw Jey Uso take on Finn Balor and Rey Mysterio to qualify for Money in the Bank. Gee, I wonder who could win this match. Could it be Finn Balor? Could it be Rey Mysterio? Or could it be the guy who cut a big promo a couple of weeks ago saying he was going to win Money in the Bank? Yeah, it was Jey Uso. Jey won a very good main event with an awesome finish. Rey Mysterio was my shining star here though, and he was awesome in everything he did. And then after the match was over, we got the debut of the Wyatt 6, which was incredible. Ollie Davis used to say, you need 3 big things to get a 5 out of 5 rating on the WrestleTalk news. And this show had that. Seth Rollins returning, Drew McIntyre quitting, and the debut of Wyatt 6. Sure, I had my quibbles up and down the show, but honestly, they don't matter. This episode was 5 out of an awesome 5. Now go and watch that latest TLC where we count down our favorite match stipulations.